Hi, today I'll be criticizing my old animation meme. It will be the old RPG meme collab I did. It is a collab, and don't worry, I got Roxanne Animate's permission to critique their part too. Most of the comments are going to be on my part though. Without further ado, let's go! I'm going to stop it already. I just want to point out that the audio sounds really strange. When I made the remake I also had this same problem with the audio, but a lot less severe. What I think happens is that the audio warps a bit after going through the program too much because each section was done separately. That is also why I think the RPG letters and the credits are so washed out and faded. This was my first time using KineMaster, so I didn't really know what I was doing. This is an improvement over my first animation meme because the credits actually have transitions. I think the part where it says my name and Roxanne's name stays on for a bit too long. It could have been as short as the other ones, and I could have put something like enjoy the video in the blank space. You will also notice that I wrote the credits instead of typing them. I can never find an appropriate font, so I just write it. Here the handwriting is pretty good. For the first time Solar and Alari appear, they don't appear at the same time as the background. They appear slightly after the background comes. It's also just now that I realize how much I despise Alari's hair in this meme. You can also see the edges around the background, which should have been cropped out. It's also still incredibly faded, and it's hard to know what's going on since the pictures go by pretty fast. If they weren't as blurry it would look a lot better. If you actually notice the symbols in the background, please know that those are not the canonical symbols of these characters anymore. Each of my characters has a symbol that correlates to them, and the design of the symbols has changed for Solar, Alari, and Dylan. This part is probably my favorite in the meme. The characters sliding in is pretty well timed. You can still see the background in between them, but that was just my fault for not measuring how big each panel needed to be. I did a pretty good job ignoring it, and I like the transitions. Most of my issues come with the characters, so let me just take a moment to point out everything I don't like about the old designs. First and most important, what is up with Alari's hair? I asked Roxanne not too long ago what they thought of it, and they told me they thought it looked bad but didn't want to make me feel bad. I am just so happy that her hair doesn't look like that anymore. Also, Alari's head is way too elongated, and she isn't a cat with a tail anymore, she just has a cat headband. Also, what is up with Dylan's expression? He looks like he saw his younger family member doing something stupid and is now waiting for them to get yelled at. And why is Solar so annoyed? I know she is usually kinda annoyed, but she looks like she loaned Alari money and she hasn't paid it back yet. Not to mention the line work, although better than the wake up meme. It's still very wobbly. Before, when it was blurry, you couldn't really tell, but now that you can see everything better, it's a lot more noticeable. That hand being a bump is super lazy. I don't know which I prefer, the bump hands or the weird first grader hands. The fire is still and doesn't really move too much. In this part, when Dylan and Alari talk, you can see some stuff around the edges that should have been cropped out, and the picture moves around too much. Also, at the end I didn't even try to make them move their mouths. This happens 2 more times, so I won't comment on it anymore. Dylan doesn't even make an effort to look at Alari. I did hide an Easter egg in this in the remake, where when Alari laughs, the plant has a sad face. In the remake it appears right before the scene switches, but here everything's so blurry, you most likely didn't notice or didn't realize it was a sad face until I pointed it out. The transition from my part to Roxanne's part could have been better timed. As for the part itself, it actually has different backgrounds and the characters look good. My only complaint is that it's kinda a slideshow and I feel like it could have had more to it. There are also times where the characters appear a little after the background. The characters leave too early, or a scene drags on for a little too long. These aren't major and are smaller things I noticed. So yeah, that's the meme. I was more critical on my part since I made it, and I remember how I made it. Thank you for watching. Bye.